Hey guys, OffTopicGames here, and today we're doing a deck profile of OTK Genesis, more commonly known as the Wiseman Loop. So we'll first go over the deck list and then we'll show you how the deck works. So our starter is going to be lading. This allows you to call things from the soul, and a lot of times you need there's crucial rear guards that you need to search for, so that's why it's in here. Then the next card is the 4 draw triggers. That this is probably the arguably the best card in the deck. It's pretty much a combo engine. If it's sent from the soul to the grave, then you can put it in the bottom of the deck and stand the rear guard. It also has revelation, but most of the time it doesn't matter. Then we have 1 copy of Dreaming Dragon. This basically allows you to shuffle your grave into your deck. So as you're decking out, then you can basically shuffle stuff in back. Then you have 4 heals. You need it for the G guards, of course. And then those are basically the necessary triggers. I think you can run 1 more Dreaming Dragon. From here on is kind of optional. I don't have a 4th of this crit, but you probably want to run 4 of these. And then I run 3 draws. This is preference, really. I don't think you should run draws, but I like draws, so I put it in. And then now next we have the grade 3. So the grade 3 is very simple. We have 4 Fenrir's and 4 Angelic Wiseman. This is the rear guard that's gonna pretty much win you games, and this is the Vanguard that you have to ride, otherwise you won't win. Next up, grade 2s. We have 4 Grappas. This is one of the combo engines of the deck. When it's sent to the drop zone from your soul, you get the soul charge too. Then we have 4 Flying Lapwing. I don't think you really have to run this, but one of the strategies of this deck is to not give damage sometimes, so that's why we're running an 8k. And you know, if you're lucky, then you get to draw, and soul charge 3 is very necessary for this deck. And the last 3 is Hesperus. You definitely don't need to run this. I just like it because it gives Vanguard pressure. And then finally we have our grade 1s. Very standard, 4 perfect guards. And we have 4 Galgas, and this is again another combo engine of the deck. It's just as important as a stand trigger. Then I have 3 of the Stride Fodders. Like I said in the grade 3 section, you really need to get that Fenrir into your hand. So that's why we run 3. You can run 4. I think that's totally fine. I have 2 Valencias, so same reason as the Grappa. Then I have 1 Claymore Harry. I have no idea why this is in here. I made this deck literally what, 6 months ago or something. I don't know. I don't know why it's in here. Then our Strides. I don't have a second Fenrir, but you would probably run 2 Fenrirs. There's a lot of optional spots in the Stride zone, so go ahead and do whatever, but 2 Fenrir sounds pretty good. 2 copies of Tyr. This is basically your main soul charge engine. This is probably going to be your first stride if you're going for the OTK, and maybe the second stride as well. And then in every Genesis deck, I guess you would run 4 Vanaganders. You know, it's just nice to stack triggers. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Then I run 1 copy of Doombrace. I've never ever used this, but it's just there as an option. Maybe sometimes you have to play normal Vanguard, and maybe it'll help. Oh yeah, and then if you're gonna, if you can put in more Doom Braces, but then you should probably change the grade 2 lineup to something a little bit more, something that hits the Vanguard a little bit easier. Then Sabreeze, everybody runs these. I don't know about now, but and then we have our G Guardians. We have 1 Screw. I have 4 of the Iris. I don't know about 4, you don't need to run 4, but I would run 3 at the very least. It's very important in this deck, not because of the +5 shield, but to get cards from the grave into your soul. after you guard it with them. Then we have one more G Guardian. What is this thing called? Agleam. Yeah, it's just in here because I don't really have a 16th card. Okay, so this deck again has two general strategies, and they are to basically play normal Vanguard, or you can go for the OTK. So if you're going to play normal Vanguard, I guess the general idea is to use grade 4 Fenrir to gain some advantage, use Vanguard to stack triggers, and yeah, that's pretty much it. But the primary strategy is going to be the OTK, and you use cards like Tier and the grade 3 Fenrir Stride skill to soul charge, and when you have about less than, I don't know, 10 cards or so, then you kind of go off. First off, to do this combo you need 4 of the stand triggers, for sure. In your soul, or if you have very little cards in your deck, it can be in your deck, but it's preferably in your soul. And then you need at least 2 copies of the grade 1 Gelga. 2 copies here. Let's see. Having 3 is even better actually. It does change the damage output, but I mean, most of the time you're going to be overkill anyway, so 2 is fine, but 3 would be nice. And then finally you kind of want those soul chargers to do multiple attacks with the Angelic Wiseman. Okay, so yeah, while I set up for the actual loop, some of the common, I guess, tactics that interfere with this deck are things that obviously kill rear guards on your own turn, particularly when you're like attacking or something. So this deck hates Kagero, it hates Narugami, and I think Grand Blue kills stuff too, yeah. Yeah, so stuff like that. There's probably much more, but it can be stopped by certain cards, but you know, it's supposed to be just more of a fun deck. I don't think it's supposed to be one of the greatest decks. So we'll show you a brief overview of how the loop works. So basically on the turn you want to go for the loop, you are going to have the grade 4 Fenrir as a Vanguard, and of course you're going to have the at least 1 Angelic Wiseman on the field as a rear guard. If you don't have it in your hand or something like that, of course you can use Fenrir's Stride skill maybe to call it out from your soul. So now that you've seen that, I'm going to move it. I'm just going to completely move it out. Just pretend it's there. So this is going to be the deck. And then these are actually cards. Let's just pretend they're in your soul. These are the necessary pieces. And this is the rest of the soul. They're just junk. They're just not important. So in this case, we have 7 cards in deck to start with. And you can have anywhere from maybe, I guess, 0 to 11 maybe. That would be, I think anything more would be very hard to start the loop. But anyway, we're going to do 7 cards in our deck to start off. So first of all, this is in my soul. I'm going to activate Gelga's skill. His act skill is put on the bottom of the deck. I'm going to leave it face up for the purpose of the video. And I soul charge 2. So basically 2 cards go into soul. And then I repeat. So at this point actually, one of the rear guards gets +6 and it stands, but the standing skill doesn't really matter in this case. So my Angelic Wiseman currently has +6. Activate Gelga again. Soul charge 2. And then activate Gelga again. Soul charge 2. Oops, supposed to be face up. Okay, so now currently I have like 1 card that I don't know and maybe 3 cards that I do know, the Gelga on the bottom. Next, you can use Fenrir's Counterblast skill, which is Counterblast 1 and Soul Blast 3. So you can go ahead and Soul Blast, I don't know, 3 Taros maybe. Actually, in this case, I'll do 2 Taros and 1 Grappa. And then Fenrir's active skill actually says you can put up to 1 card from the top of your deck into your soul. So in this case, I'm going to choose 0 cards and just go ahead and activate Grappa skill to soul charge 2 cards. So this is in the grave already. So I'm going to soul charge these 2 cards. So I don't know what this is, but now I know it. And then this goes in your soul. So now that you have this, you can activate this again. Give +6 to your monster. This goes in your soul. You know, you would activate, and then you kind of keep going until you basically run out of Counterblast. And that's basically loop number 1. And then there's also the attacking loop. So I'm going to put that on the side. At the very end though, you should have 0 cards in your deck, and then... you don't need, right?
Well, if you have 0, you lose.
Oh, you lose? I didn't know. I don't know. So, I don't know Vanguard rules apparently. Okay, 1 card then. So it's going to be the Galga most likely. And, you know, it's very messy, but there's a lot of cards. So, in terms of the Powerup Loop, basically for 1 Counter Blast, if you have 2 Galga in your soul to begin with, you can get 15,000 per Counter Blast for Fenrir. And if you have 3 Galgas, you can get 21,000. So again, I don't think it matters too much, but okay. Now is the attack loop. So now I'm going to put this Angelic Wiseman here, and it's going to attack. And at this point, you have all these cards in your soul. And the first thing you're going to do is take 1 Taro, take one of... This card is useless now, so just take it. And basically anything else. So you Soul Blast it. When this gets Soul Blasted though, it goes on the bottom of the deck. So the deck is currently like this. It's face up, it's currently like this. And then your Angelic Wiseman stands. And then it's gained that +4 power. Oh, it's actually at the end of the battle, so it doesn't really matter. And then you basically continue. You go Taro, junk card, and... Oh, that's not a junk card. Another junk card. And then it stands again. And then basically you just continue this, and if your deck gets to like 3 Taros or 4 Taros, you would Soul Blast one of the Grappas or Valencia, so you can Soul Charge the Taros back into the deck. So that's generally how the loop works, and yeah, so on average, the Angelic Wiseman hits anywhere from about 60,000 to maybe 80,000. I think that's a general number. And yeah, if your opponent's Kagero, then don't even attempt it, and that's pretty much all I have to say, I think. Yeah. Anything else? Okay, I guess that's it for the deck profile.
Yep. So thank you guys all for watching. If you liked it, please like and subscribe. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, you can leave them down in the comment section down below, and then as always, Facebook and Twitter are in the description. So yeah, see you all later.